We'll do it live.
We'll throw it live. Oh God! All right. Hello, True Fam, and welcome to TRUtalk, your number one source for gaming, hardware, and pop culture chats. This week, we're really excited to welcome True's number one party person, True's media and marketing director, GreenChord. Green, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, man. Thanks for having me on the show.
I'm having deja vu. Are you having deja vu?
A little bit,
Slightly, a little bit.
What have you been playing lately? How's stream going? I know you're playing a lot of League of Legends. Is there anything aside from that?
That's mostly it. I've been playing a little bit of Rocket League with some friends lately, and actually found this online browser game that's actually been kind of fun. It's called it's like Scribble.io. It's like a Pictionary with your friends online, but it's hysterical because everyone sucks at drawing with a mouse. So that's been fun.
That's interesting. That could be fun for some kind of community stream.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it for sure.
Yeah. And as always, my co-host Whiteshadow. How are you, dude? How's your week been?
What's going on, guys?
What are you playing?
Destiny 2.
Are we actually going to do the review on that this week?
Yes, we are doing the review this week.
Okay. Yeah. I'm doing good. I actually got back.
How are you doing, Pimz?
Pimz is like, no one's going to ask me. I see how it is.
I usually just start talking about myself eventually. Don't even worry about it. I've been playing. I actually got back into indie games this week. I'm thinking I'm putting PUBG back on the back burner, and I played Oxenfree like a year and a half later, almost 2 years later, and that was a trip. And everybody loved it. And that game is actually really good. If you haven't played it, you really should. Especially with it being free on Xbox right now.
Ooh,
definitely good time to go grab it. I got it when it was free on Prime. That was pretty awesome. That was like months ago.
Huh.
Yeah. Yeah. So naturally now I'm going out and looking at all these crazy freaking... all kinds of indie games, trying to figure out what to play, etc. What's cool right now. I found out. Have you guys ever played Cluster Truck?
I haven't played it, but I've seen a ton of it. It looks hilarious. It's
got Twitch chat integration.
Yep.
Wait, what? That's awesome.
Yeah, I was looking at it today. So there's I love this game to begin with because it's such a unique concept to me. But basically events will come up in the game, and then your chat can vote on what the event is out of 3 random things.
Did you guys see? I don't remember who the streamer was, but when they first started rolling out that feature, they picked a huge streamer on Twitch and just started doing that to his game, like without the chat doing anything, and he had no idea what was going on. It was like,
what?
Like let's say the streamer's name was Jacob. Suddenly there was like, "Hey Jacob" on the screen when he was playing the game. And he started getting really freaked out. He's like, and then they put on the screen, "Let's make things a little bit harder." And then it'd go like 5 times as fast. And then it was hilarious. You just look it up sometime.
That's amazing.
That's incredible.
That'd be so awesome. Could you imagine the guys back at Twitch, like the laughs that they would have had? Oh my God!
I would probably start panicking. Like, who's hacking me right now? Am I on Punked? Is Ashton Kutcher gonna come out of my closet? Sorry,
I think it was Soda Poppin' actually.
Was it?
Yeah,
that would make sense. People like to make fun of him a lot.
It was very funny.
Yeah. So that's where I'm at right now. So, TwitchCon's coming up. Green.
Oh, baby.
Green, you want to...
so ready. It's actually exactly a month from today that will be... Well, it'll be the last day of TwitchCon, but that's crazy to me that it's that close.
That is insanely close. We might have to get some of the guys on for some TwitchCon coverage.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that'd be sick.
Yeah.
It's hilarious because, we're flying out Dan the Dapper and Bellic to the conference, but then... I believe Supervid and King Robo are also going to be there because King works for Twitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Supervid, I guess, lives really close, so that'd be pretty cool to have everybody there.
So
And
freaking jelly.
it looks like GI Toes, as of today, might be going. He was saying something
really?
in he was saying something in True earlier. So you guys might get to meet him face to face. That's kind of exciting. I asked him. He said he phrased it. Guess who's going to TwitchCon? And I said, thank you, buddy. I really wanted to go. Toes is a good sport. He's a very friendly guy. Definitely recommend checking him out.
Does he bring him his truck?
He's probably gonna stream the drive.
That'd be awesome.
That's prime opportunity for him.
That's pretty sick.
That would be cool. It's like road to Worlds, but road to TwitchCon.
Road to TwitchCon.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, they have some
awesome.
amazing sessions they're doing too. Like I've been looking at some of those, and there's a lot that are tailored to affiliates moving into full-time partnership.
Yep.
Which I think is gonna be really cool for, especially with Dan and Velk going too.
Yeah, because Dan's looking at that right now. He's trying to figure out if it's doable for him.
Yep.
So that's good timing. That's really good timing. We've got a few of the true sponsors that are starting to move towards full time. Callie's more or less full time right now.
Miss Hobo Slayer.
Yeah, sounds like she
announced it today.
Yeah. That's pretty awesome. That's good. Any other panels that you're looking forward to?
Man, there's a lot. I haven't written them all down, but there's one on podcasting, which is really cool. I'd like to go see. I don't know if you know who Chan Man V is, but he hosts a lot of popular like Twitch streams that then become podcasts. Like he does one for Overwatch and Hearthstone, and has kind of like some of the biggest podcasts in those games. So I definitely want to go check that out if I get a chance.
Do you know if they're streaming any of this live on Twitch?
Oh, I guarantee you they are.
Yeah,
because that'd be something that me and Pimz would.
Yeah, I might even take some time off work for that to go watch it.
They don't stop streaming the whole weekend.
Yeah.
So
I guess if it's on the weekend, I don't have to take time off.
I didn't know if there were certain like events that they didn't stream or.
Well, they can't stream all the panels because a lot of them overlap. But I would guess that they will stream a good number of panels.
Awesome.
Sweet.
So I kind of jokingly made the comment Road to Worlds, but LCS time?
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
Literally so it's at this time right now, it's 2 minutes away from 10 p.m. Eastern, which means that World starts in 3 hours.
Oh snap.
So, which is sucky for us because it's at 1 a.m. But I'm definitely staying up to watch at least the opening of it. And again, for anyone who doesn't know, this is League of Legends World Finals, and I'm super excited about it.
Yeah. It's the League Championship Series World Finals. I haven't watched since season 3, but I also haven't played since season 4.
Dude, they always bring the hype though. With this, Worlds has some awesome hype.
League Worlds have kind of paved the way for esports alongside CS:GO.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Halo.
Yeah, but Halo never got it right.
Yeah, I mean, Halo didn't really go anywhere. It just kind of kept going in circles.
Yeah, this is true.
Halo had a fantastic. It was an amazing game to kick off esports, but I don't think they did a very good job of moving into like the Twitch scene.
Yeah,
as well
I think
as some other games did.
MLG Halo was kind of the forerunner to what we have going on now.
Then MLG dropped Halo after Reach because Reach wasn't that competitive.
Yeah.
So
says them.
I mean, all those players of Halo Reach, that was the best one to me. But
Reach had some of the best multiplayer for sure. Yeah.
But dwindled after that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's going on in China this year, and definitely gonna be following that a lot over the.
That explains the start time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unfortunately, and there's some cool stuff going on where you can do missions in League right now that kind of coincide with the World Championship, and you get special rewards and icons and stuff. So that's pretty cool too.
Nice.
That's that's pretty awesome. Hey, while we got you here, Mr. Community Man, you want to give us that community update you normally give us?
Well, sure, party people.
We'll do it live.
Yeah. So it's a shorter one this week for sure because I can't say everything that we're working on.
Yeah.
Yeah. The biggest thing is still we're reviewing sponsorship applications. And by we're, I mean me. I'm reviewing sponsorship applications.
Yeah, because you don't have almost 1,000 this time.
Yeah, thankfully. It's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but that should be done within the next couple weeks. And then TwitchCon, obviously, a month away. Lots of prep going into that for now. And then we have one really big thing coming on the first. No one knows this yet, but coming on the 1st of October, there's something big. So, but I can't say anything about it.
Ooh.
But you guys get the first teaser.
Yeah.
So
yeah. This is why I say it's the number one source for all these things.
Man doesn't lie.
We also had some new swag go live on the TRUgaming store.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I did forget about that. We have Tru lanyards, cinch bags, and koozies on our store now, and they're cheap, but good.
Yeah. So I gotta say the lanyard I love. I am using mine full time. I've also got the koozies are really nice. Some of us kind of got the previews of them, and actually the bag was the perfect size when I was at Chasing Summer. I used that instead of my backpack. I threw a couple things in there and then just like wandered around with it. It's a really good size. It's one of the little over the shoulder like soccer style ones. They're quite nice.
I actually took my bag to the Destiny 2 release at GameStop, and everybody was like, "Hey, what's TRUgaming?" And they started Googling it, and I was like, "Yes,
yeah, that's gonna be me tomorrow. I'm going to Edmonton Comic Con or Edmonton Comic Expo, and I'm gonna be walking around. I'm gonna be like shirt, bag. I'm gonna have swag that I'm taking, and I'm gonna be checking out the Extra Life booth there because I'm really just trying to get involved locally, and they have been my number one point, and they're wonderful people. I'm a huge supporter of Extra Life, but I'm gonna go from talking about charity to being kind of selfish. If you guys go check out these new bags, lanyards, koozies, use the code TRUtalk. You guys will get 10% off, Green?
So it's you guys get 10% of the sale. That's how that works.
So 10% of what you buy goes towards. So it's TRUtalk because that 10% is what we will use to help improve the stream or the podcast. I'm so used to saying stream. So if you guys are buying anything, shirts, hats, I think there's a baby onesie.
Actually, we're out of those now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So no more baby onesies. You heard it here. Sold out. GreenChord bought all of them.
Yep. All 9.
All 9.
They fit great.
Yeah. So if you guys go check out the website, buy anything off there, use the code TRUtalk. It'll help the podcast out. It'll help us, say my brand new audio equipment dies or Whiteshadow's chair breaks. It'll help us kind of fund stuff like that so that we can keep the podcast going.
Yes. Also, I should mention that we're probably going to have a sale on hats pretty soon.
Dude, the hats are awesome. I have 2 of them.
So right now we've got dad hats, right?
Yeah.
What are the chances of
they're
getting
man hats? Okay.
Man hats? A dad hat is actually like the stylish term for those.
Are you one of the people who's interested in either a flat brim or a snapback type thing?
Yes. That's actually where I was gonna go with that.
Oh, believe me, I know that people want that, and it's on our radar. So
Awesome.
What do I got to pay you to get some TRUtalk merch?
Dude.
we'll see.
We'll see. We'll talk. Yeah.
We have
Pimz and Whiteshadow Brandon.
Yeah, we actually have. So that stuff went live on the site this week. We have some really cool stuff in the works too, including something we're working with Dust on. So that's gonna be really cool.
Oh, that should be fun. That should be real good. Okay, enough about fashion sense. Enough about fashion sense. Let's talk a little bit of hardware. It's hardware time.
Oh, it's my favorite time.
So Shadow's got a lot of things on here. I actually have stuff on here this week. I'm guessing. Wait, I have stuff on there twice.
I was laughing at that earlier. I was like, wait, he must really love those.
I do. I'm using them right now. So while we're on the topic, I finally took the dive on a pair of headphones that I've been thinking about for literally, I think it's been a year now. The Soul Republic Master Tracks. They're actually they're different than I expected, but specifically performance-wise. So the fit is great. They've got a firm leather cup. They call the cups on them engines. So they have an X3 engine, which is the high-end drivers, etc. The bands on these are one of their big selling points. You can take them, you can twist them all you want. They are unbreakable. My roommate has had had a pair of Soul Republic. I think they're just the Tracks HDs even. He's had his for a couple of years. They're still going strong. So I'm not worried about longevity. I'm finding that I have to, like, if I want to get the full, get everything I can out of these headphones, I have to use them at slightly higher volumes than I normally use the headphones at. They sound good at, normal listening volume, but as you kind of edge up to where it starts to be like, I can't hear anything outside of me, that's where you really get like the high fidelity. There's a lot more, they're very warm sounding, which is quite nice. They're closed back. I got used to with my AKGs an open back, so now I'm having to. I'm actually gonna have to set up my monitor for my mic so I can hear myself.
That's what I use.
Yeah. They're good though. They're comfortable. I'm gonna be shopping for an aftermarket cable because for the setup at my desk and my desk at work, the meter cable that they give you doesn't work for me.
Oh. So
little short. I am admittedly spoiled with the AKGs because they have the coiled 1 meter and then they have the like 3 meter straight cable. Like,
dang.
Yeah. So I'm spoiled on that front, but that's one of the few things I have any complaints about with these. Absolutely love them. Very happy I finally kind of took the dive. They were 180 Canadian. And I think that I probably would have spent a little more on them if they were more expensive.
How's the soundstage?
Pretty good. Very, very. They're just good.
There's nothing else to say.
There's not much else to say. The sound staging's really. It's very full. There's a wide spectrum of frequencies that you're getting. And like I said, it only gets better as you get up into the higher volumes.
Yeah, that's how I prefer to listen.
Yeah.
Do they use an amp?
I was just about to ask that.
No, they're all. They don't require an amp at all.
Okay.
Question: would they benefit from an amp?
Probably. I mean, most headphones do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they're really nice on their own. They're nice with the software amp in my phone, and they're also really nice with my Mixamp Pro. So I've tried them across a bunch of different setups. The one thing I haven't done is tried them in the Allen and Heath mixer.
Oh, dude. How have you not tried that yet?
Because I'd have to sit out in the common area with headphones on, and I feel like I would just get weird looks from Briggsy. Okay. I'm
just still make eye contact.
Just oh no, you make eye contact and you hold it.
You don't let it go.
You almost said I can't act.
I can't act. You're right. I'm a terrible actor.
Wow. Way to turn that one around.
One of the other purchases I made.
Oh, dude, I can't wait for this one.
Mm-hmm. And this is one that I am very, like, it was kind of an on a whim thing because I found out they do packages. I got a Mionix Way keyboard and the caster mouse in pink. So, you guys remember my rant about the, ice or frosting is the name of the color.
Dude, yeah, that's so cool. I was looking at this stuff today.
With the Mionix?
Yeah, the way that they brand their hardware is really cool.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
They are a very standout brand. So the keyboard, I could go. I have been talking about this keyboard since I got it because I'm in love with the feel of it. So it's Cherry MX Reds. It's a full keyboard. It doesn't come with a wrist rest or anything. It's very the body on it is a bit smaller, but it's still 138 keys.
It's like a K70.
Yeah, it's a K70, but it's smaller. It's more compact.
Smaller footprint, yeah.
Yeah. So my rant about the feel on the knobs for my M Audio mixer. Just imagine that here, but with the keys and the mouse, because everything is like this satin finish, and it's smooth and grippy all at the same time, and just it's comfortable. It's like that pair of pants that everybody has that they put on when they get home. For some people, that's just no pants. Looking at you, Objective
pants,
Zero.
We're looking at you, Dust.
the like double call out, and then Green just going, yeah, no pants, best pants. Yeah, it like the whole thing feels good, and it's a rubberized base. So it's aluminum top, and then the base of the keyboard is rubberized, so there is no slide. It has no feet, so there's no angle adjustment on it. That's one thing that will bother some people. Full RGB, not quite as flexible as the Corsair and Razer suites as far as customization go, but still, like I have it fading from purple to teal, and it's beautiful. Like it looks so good. The mouse, actually, when I got it, Briggsy came in and he grabbed it and he was playing with it. He's like, "That's actually the perfect size," and I agree. If you have a claw grip, like if you are a palm in hand kind of grip, this the caster is perfect. I would like to try. It's the Naus at some point is the other mouse. It's a little bigger, but I'm starting to get used to this mouse. It's really responsive. I had an issue when I first installed it, and it went away after I restarted my PC, that it would randomly click. I was playing PUBG, and I'd be like, I'd be in the middle of a field, hand off the mouse, and my gun would go off. Yeah. Explain that to Shady when suddenly a bullet goes whipping by his head. So,
oh my gosh.
I'm very happy. They are a bit. So I've been talking with my community, and they are a bit on the expensive side. I definitely would recommend getting the bundles, because you can get it's keyboard, mouse, wrist pad, and a set of keycaps in a color to match your mouse for, I think it's $330 for all of that. But the keyboard on its own is $225. So that's something to think about if you are going to try it out. I definitely can recommend the mouse. I could recommend the keyboard. They're both wonderful. I'm probably going to be sticking with Mionix for a long time. I'm thoroughly impressed with my first impression was a good impression.
They seem pretty nice, I gotta say.
Yeah. I definitely, if you're in the market for a keyboard and say you have a bonus on a paycheck, I definitely would go for the Whey. Like I said, it feels good.
You're talking like whey protein when you say that.
Whey protein.
Yeah.
Be a cool name for a keyboard.
Whey protein?
No, just whey.
Just whey.
Yeah. Or is it we?
It's WEI.
Well, it's kind of like Huawei, so
Huawei?
Yeah.
In a
way, it sounds like Huawei. No way, they sounds familiar.
The thing I like about Mionix is they do that whole ice cream theme.
Yeah.
So like you get the wrist rest for the keyboard, and it's got like all these different ice cream cones and stuff across it.
Yeah, and donuts and stuff.
It's like adorable.
They're
Dude,
cute.
I just love their marketing. Like,
yeah,
very minimalist.
Well, yeah, and also just like the idea of putting a pink mouse on a pink background is so counterintuitive, but it looks so cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it was interesting going through some of their marketing guidelines. They actually have like all of that just up on their site for you to go look at, and it was really, really cool seeing, because it's like they don't want you not doing that. It's either same color or white background. They don't want anything else. That being said, I mean, I sent them a picture of my mouse and keyboard. I spent like half an hour taking this goddamn picture. And like that's one other thing is their Twitter staff are like insanely responsive. One of my friends from the UK responded, and he's like, I've been having trouble finding this, and within like probably 10-15 minutes they had not one but two links for him for where he could buy them. That wasn't their store, because their store was sold out. So that really impressed me. I'm quite happy with that. That was cool. They actually like approached me when I tweeted, you know, I showed the boxes, and they said, send us a picture of your desk. We'd love to see that. So that's where I took a quick picture, and then I spent another half hour taking another picture that I then posted on Instagram for them. And yeah, it was cool. It was pretty awesome.
I could only imagine like when they were like, hey, take a picture of your desk, you like shot a glance over to your desk and it had like cans all over it, and you're like, oh, I need to clean.
I took the picture the next day because I did actually need to clean it. Yeah.
Nice. I would laugh if like Briggsy walked in and you're like up on all fours on your desk with like monitors sitting on the ground just taking this picture. And he's like, Pimz, what are you doing?
Oh no, he wouldn't blink. He's used to that shit. Yeah, no. Okay, and that's like my hardware rants for this week. Aside from a bit of antagonizing Whiteshadow, talking about the 1070 Ti.
Oh my god! Don't even get me started. I'm excited.
Well, actually, I'm trying to get you started. That was the point of that.
Well, I know, but like,
yeah,
I'm trying to get excited for the 1070 Ti because this is like the first 70 series that they've done in a while that has a Ti attached to it. But it's like you look at the specs and you look at all of the released benchmarks or the unreleased, quote unquote benchmarks. It basically eats the 1080 Ti, or not the Ti, but the 1080.
Yeah.
It's like in the pricing, they leaked the pricing, and it's like within $30 of a 1080. So why wouldn't I just buy? Why do this and swallow your 1080 and all of the people that have the 1080?
It's kind of the inverse of buying the 1070, and if you're going to spend that much, just go to the 1080. It's why would I spend that much on the 1080 when I can get the
I don't see a place for it. And I mean, I understand they're refreshing the 1070. Like, hey, it's been a year. All of our 1070 owners are looking to upgrade. But within $30 of getting a 1080, I can get the extra, like 100 extra CUDA cores and just get the 1080, and I don't have to worry about a thing.
Yep. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's so. You were about to say that we were going to talk about how Nvidia's as bad as Intel, but in the grand scheme of things, yeah, probably pretty close, you know, especially with the whole fiasco with the 1080 Titans and XPs.
See, that's what I was going to bring up.
Okay, but it's also a year, like you say, from when the 1070 first came out.
Well, not only that, but we have miners to worry about because we know the TDP on this is going to be lower than the 1080, so miners are going to scoop these up.
Yeah.
And then GDDR5X and GDDR5 prices just went up.
Yeah.
So that also swallows everything as well. Like, I would have rather them, instead of just rehashing the 1070, I would have rather them been like, hey, guess what? We've got a new GPU coming out in February.
Yeah.
Boom. Because now Vega's already talking about like the next iteration of Vega coming out in like next summer.
Alrighty?
Wow.
Jesus, graphic cards are turning into frickin' cars now.
Yeah, they really are. It's like my whole thing with that is I wasn't gonna really talk about AMD, but like with graphic cards in general, the way they're turning over and the technology is starting to accelerate again because they're starting to use hardware has like a stagnant point every couple years, and all of a sudden we're hitting like the booming stage again. Like, okay, we're gonna start innovating these new technologies. So buying a graphics card right now is a bad idea unless it's 1080
or a 1070 Ti.
Don't buy a 1070 Ti. 1080 Ti will
$30?
do no. The difference between a 1080 Ti and a 1070 Ti is probably $300 or $400 depending on what you buy.
Yeah.
But it's also the difference in I can play 4K at 60 frames per second, or I can play 1080p at like comfortable level. I can't play 4K with a 1070 Ti. So
True.
So, speaking of Intel.
Okay. So
you got more?
Nvidia, as bad as Intel, I don't really want to say it like that. I shouldn't have wrote it like that, but they're not as bad as Intel. But the way their structure goes, as far as like pricing things out, bugs me. That's why I think they're like kind of like Intel in that aspect. Speaking of Intel, already
so
expecting more CPUs on a different socket in February. So Coffee Lake came out this month. It's coming out in a couple weeks. No, in October. I'm sorry. They pushed it back to October 11th.
Yeah.
So we get that one. It's going to be on a completely new socket. All of a sudden, they announced 2 more chipsets next year, one in February and one in mid to late summer, both on different sockets. So you have, if you wanted to adopt one of those, guess what? You have to buy a whole new motherboard. Ryzen next year, when they come out with the second iteration of Ryzen on the 7nm process, I can buy that chip and put it right on my X370 board and just keep going.
So the issue isn't them treating it like the new Ford Focus. It's more that they're
they're coming up with an entirely new model.
It's like the Dodge Caliber went for a single generation, and then they brought out the Dodge Dart.
Exactly. And then the Dodge Dart dies.
It's
and
like
they come out with a new car.
I hate that whole neon thing. Oh, this is completely unrelated to anything on this podcast, but the Chrysler and Dodge neon shenanigans get me so fired up. I don't know why I brought it up. I just triggered myself.
You know what's going to trigger you more? My best friend had one.
I drove a Caliber for
SRT4.
like 3 years. So this is the thing. It's like, this is why I bring it up, is the neon got a new body and it was called the Caliber, and then the Caliber got a new body and now it's called the Dart. And it was all like the thing with the Caliber is it won a generation.
Yeah,
that's the vibe I'm getting right now. Is we've got this new freaking socket set, and then it's immediately getting replaced.
What bugs me is AMD played it smart, and they're like, "Hey, we got this AM4 socket. We can support this for up to 15 years." Intel is like, "No, we're going to come out with a socket each time because we're money hungry."
Sounds about right.
Yeah. It seems like that's a lot of the plays that Intel's making lately. It's
getting a little desperate.
Yeah,
drives me insane. Like AMD, you look at how many sockets they have right now with the new generation. They have the TR4, which is Threadripper, and then you have AM4. That's it. There's no different, and they've even updated some of their older processors to work on the AM4 platform.
Really?
Smart.
Yeah, they have an Athlon that will run on AM4.
Weird.
Which is awesome. So, like Intel, it seems like they don't know what the hell they're doing.
Like they haven't really had. I feel like they haven't had a real competition in a long time.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I can kind of understand that, but like they should have at least. All right, so my whole thing is, if you're a company and you're the top dog, you're number one. Everybody's trying to claim that spot. Why aren't you innovating and staying ahead of the curve?
You need to give
like
it
look at DJI.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we're on the same page.
Yeah, you have to like if you're going to be on top, you need to run like people are chasing you.
Exactly.
Especially in tech. Like you can't just sit down and like this is my throne, this is where I shall build my keep. No, you need to keep moving.
Apple.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love the Apple discussion because everybody, and I'm guilty of this, everybody gives Apple shit, but Apple is the driver for all of the innovation that we have. Like,
I won't give them credit. It was. Android
they
has
built the first PC. Yeah. I mean, Google has taken everything because Google is like the omnipotent big brother that's their policy is do no harm. But
I think I don't know. Ever since I feel like since Steve Jobs has gone away, there hasn't been like a huge breakthrough from Apple since. I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but
yeah, Apple has gone from the innovator to the
we have to play catch up.
Yeah, because it's like they're buying up patents from other people.
If you look at the iPhone right now, there was this whole thing I saw, and CNET has been pro Apple for years. I read CNET religiously, and they were like, "What is Apple doing?" They're playing catch up now because at their press conference, they're like, "We're the first one to have dual camera with optical image stabilization on both cameras," and CNET's like, "No, Samsung did that 3 weeks ago.
Yeah,
we're the first ones with an all-over display. No, Essential Phone did that. Sharp did that." Motorola's done that. Like all of these other phones.
Motorola's done that.
Yeah,
like
Motorola pioneered the smartphone.
Yeah.
Well,
they're the first ones to make a phone.
Okay, so I'm guessing at least two of us have had a Razer or a Crazer at some point in their life, as far as phones go.
Yeah.
A Crazer. Oh
yeah. The glass front. Yeah.
I was thinking like Razer, like keyboard stuff. But
speaking of Razer, good transition there.
Yeah, that was real smooth. To be fair, I sidetracked us, so yeah.
CNBC, they had an interview with the Razer CEO. They're looking at making a mobile device like line. So they're coming out with a whole new IPO. They bought Nextbit Robin, which is a smartphone manufacturer that didn't do so hot, but they make really freaking awesome hardware. And of course, they bought THX. You guys know that.
Yep.
And who else did they buy? They bought somebody. Oh, Ouya. Remember the Ouya that came out, and it was like supposed to be the Android gaming system?
Oh my gosh! Yes.
Yeah, they own that company now.
I don't actually. I missed that wave completely.
That's what I'm talking about.
The freaking Ouya. I had a friend in high school who got a Ouya, and he was like, "Guys, this is going to change gaming forever.
This is the future.
Like, you will not believe." And we spent the night setting up his Ouya, and it was a mess, and we never played it again.
Yeah, it was awful. It was such a big promise. Like I had really high hopes for it, and then it was just a massive failure. Razer scooped them up, and I think they're gonna take those three companies, THX, Nextbit, Ouya, and to, of course, take Razer's expertise in the gaming side and really market a phone towards gamers.
Dude,
just wait.
Where can I pre-order? Sign me up.
This will be the next phone that all those Final Fantasy Brave Exvius streamers use.
Oh, dude.
I just want a phone with the RGB pulsing chroma back.
Dude, oh my god.
Honestly, an RGB phone would, like, even an RGB case would be so cool.
How awesome.
So hard.
Yeah.
This also made me think, like, okay, Razer is a gaming. This opens a whole new can of worms for the gaming industry. Like, think about, like, okay, you got Corsair, who's going to be like, oh, dude, Razer's phone is, if it's a big, like, hit, they're going to look at it and be like, oh, okay, we have to make a Corsair phone.
Let's take it beyond phones. Gaming tablets. Yeah.
Well, Razer tried this. Razer has tried this once before when this first came out, and it did okay, but it was just a beta project.
Yeah.
I think if this IPO takes off, they'll make a gaming tablet for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds better test.
It's the Nvidia Shield is kind of Nvidia's attempt at portable gaming.
And it was actually really successful.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah. The Nvidia Shield was actually really successful. They still sell them. Yeah. They just refresh it each year. It's the same tablet with a new processor.
Yeah.
Huh.
Wow. Yeah, they're that one was weird. When I was in getting the parts for my Ryzen build, I was wandering around waiting for them to set my... I cheated and got them to set my CPU for me. I was walking around and they have like a display, not just like they're on some shelf. There was a display on the end of an aisle. I was like, excuse me?
The freaking the GeForce experience that you can do where you can stream the games to your tablet is the coolest thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Like it's awesome. If you have a really good internet connection and your PC is on at home, you can stream your library to the tablet and use the controller right there and play a PC game.
Yeah.
Like my friend had one.
It does all of the rendering and stuff on the PC, so it doesn't matter. The hardware that you're on doesn't matter. It's all about what you've got at home.
and it looks so good. Oh my god.
You know, Xbox does that too with their setup with
Yeah.
PCs.
Yeah.
Well, they do it for a PS4 as well, but it's not as like it was.
Yeah.
It surprised me how smooth it was for Nvidia. The latency was it seemed non-existent to me.
Yeah, that was the big issue with Xbox's stuff.
Yeah, and I think it's the same with PS4. There's a bit of latency there.
Yeah.
To trying to play Halo with that was impossible. So.
I bet. So something else happened in the something happened this morning actually.
In the phone side.
Yeah, on the phone side, Google bought HTC.
See, this is an
Like,
interesting
flat out.
move because hasn't, I guess, with the Vive and stuff. But do you think that's what they're going for?
No, HTC made the first Pixel.
Yeah.
Oh, did
They
they?
were they were the manufacturer of the first Pixel. And not only that, the very first Google phone that ever came out was an HTC. It was called the HTC Dream. They made the what was it? HTC One was the first Nexus phone, the Nexus One.
Damn.
So they've had a couple of different, like they've had their hand with Google for a while, and Google was like, "Why not? It's the only logical decision. We work with these guys all the time."
Yeah.
So, and I mean, they bought everything. They bought their VR. What were you gonna say?
Oh, I was just gonna say I hope they do something big. I feel like phones in general recently have like there's AR, but I haven't seen anything big from phones in a long time.
Yeah, a lot of the big moves in the phone industry are like brands like OnePlus that are bringing out these flagship killers. But that's not really like, it's not anything big or new. It's just a fancier phone in the same kind of, within the same bounds. Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, Pimz, did you know Samsung bought Harman?
Really?
Yeah, they own Harman outright. They bought them for $800 million.
Shit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Does that mean they also now own AKG?
Yep, they own the entire group.
Wow.
Like JBL, Harman, Cardon, AKG, like all of that stuff.
Yeah.
If you buy the Samsung Galaxy Note 8, that comes with a pair of AKG in-ears.
Interesting.
That are valued at like $150.
Is it the wireless ones?
No, it's the wired ones because the Note 8 has a built-in 32-bit amp.
Yeah. Yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about, because like I was talking earlier about the soft amp in my phone, and now we've got the soft amp in the Note 8. Like, yeah.
Phones are becoming awesome, man.
They're awesome, but it's kind of, a lot of it's recycled. I don't know. It doesn't feel like there's as much going on. I think the Galaxy Edge and maybe the iPhone X have been the biggest things, and the iPhone X isn't even that big of a deal. The Edge was a huge deal, but
I laughed. Oh my gosh, at the Apple event, I was laughing so hard. I was like, "That's the best they can do." Really?
Yeah.
We've seen this like 100 times before.
That's so sad.
The only cool thing I saw was where you can use the front sensing cameras and animate your emojis and send them to people. And I was like, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
That was the stupidest part, in my opinion. Did you guys know who Jax Films is? This guy is a YouTuber.
Yeah.
Go look at his video summarizing the iPhone, because he called it the $1,000 emoji machine. That's pretty much right.
This is true. This is true.
Oh gosh, I just felt like you look at. I was watching the first time Steve Jobs unveiled the iPhone. I watched that presentation recently, and then I watched the iPhone 10. I was like, man, they've really fallen away.
Yeah, they've fallen from the grace. Yeah, the first time they announced the iPhone with Steve Jobs, I was like, holy crap.
They've basically gone from, look at this cutting edge piece of technology, to, we know what a meme is.
Yeah.
That's a vibe I get.
And not even just iPhone, like they've gone from making like really new things and new ideas, the iPad, like even Macintosh and stuff, all that stuff, like yeah, there was a lot of marketing, but at the end of the day, it was a totally new way to do something.
Yeah.
And now they're just like finding little variations between phones and not like taking any risks. And I think that's what's gonna, if they don't turn that around, it's gonna be their downfall.
Yeah,
well,
it's definitely tied. Oh?
Speaking of MacBooks, if you look at the MacBook, if you look at the side of that, it's like where the hell do I plug in my USB port at? You have to buy an adapter.
Don't you know?
That's like
Apple's getting rid of all ports ever.
You have to plug in an adapter to have extra USB ports. It's the stupidest thing ever.
So stupid.
Yeah.
USB's not going anywhere, dude. Like, come on. I don't know.
Apple though. They've had their own cables for a very, very long time. They've never done the common cable concept. It's all been Apple proprietary stuff, like
closed ecosystem.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hate it.
You know what happens in a closed ecosystem? Shit gets stale. It's like a fridge with too many slices of bread sitting around. I don't know why the slices are sitting around. Don't ask.
Why are the slices in a fridge, Pimz?
So they don't go stale as fast. And because a fridge is an example of a closed ecosystem. Didn't you pay attention in Biology 7?
Take Biology 7.
I can tell.
I only went to 6.
I only went to 5.
I only went to 6.
I felt like I didn't need this many biology classes.
Actually, I only took biology in like 10th grade. Everything after that was physics for me. Okay, we'll move on to some games. Whiteshadow owes us a Destiny review.
Yes.
From like 2 weeks ago. Because we decided
I was going to do it, but decided to troll back, and like I didn't want to do it.
Yeah. Let's start with that. Let's get that out of the way, because we got a few things to talk about for gaming, but that's kind of the big thing.
Yeah. Okay. So Destiny 2. I've been playing it for about 2 weeks now. Has it been 2 weeks?
About that. It came out the week we did our last episode.
Yeah, so 2 weeks. That's right. It came out on the 8th. So I'm gonna say probably one of the best games I've ever played. It reminds me a lot of like the old Bungie style of storytelling, like Halo
Destiny?
Reach. No, not Destiny 1. That was trash storytelling on their part. Love the game, hated the story, but this story reminded me a lot of Halo Reach in the sense of how the entire story unfolded. So you start out. I'm not going to reveal any spoilers. I'm going to try my best. I mean, if you guys haven't played it after 2 weeks, I'm sorry if I do kind of reveal something, but it's been out for 2 weeks. But the way they start the story out, like, everybody's played the first mission. You go in, you're the hero. You're like, everybody knows who you are in the tower, and they need your help. So like, you go in, the tower's destroyed, your home has basically been taken from you, and it's being demolished. Like, people are dying around you, and you go in and you think you're gonna kick this dude's ass. Like, you're not gonna come into my home and take all my stuff. Well, guess what? He steals all your power, and he punts you off the side of his ship. From the very get-go, it like engulfs you into wanting to beat dude that kicked you off the side of his ship and stole your power and like killed your friends. So like the story in itself, it's only about 9-ish hours, depending on how fast you are through the campaign.
That's still pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it's a typical Halo was only like 7 hours.
Yeah.
If you really get down to it. But Destiny 2 is like, if you really take the time and pay attention to everything, 9 hours of gameplay for the from just the story missions. And to me, probably one of the best stories Bungie's done in a long time. I mean, you got Luke Smith, the guy who wrote Halo 3, or helped with Halo 3, I should say, and wrote Halo Reach, doing the story. He did it right. After you get done with the story and after everything is said and done, you're level 20. You start working on your light level. The end game material that you do, in my eyes, is 10 times better than the first game. I'm going to reference the first game a lot here, like,
as one should with a sequel.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so, this is kind of like a start over for Destiny, in my opinion, because the first game to me was kind of like, okay, we're figuring out what to do. I mean, Bungie went through a CEO change in the middle of Destiny's lifespan. They did a lot of changes. They fired Martin O'Donnell, which was their lead, which is the guy that did all the music for Halo. I mean, you fire somebody like that, and it's kind of like a blow to the franchise, in my opinion, and a blow to the studio. Yeah. He's still on the board of directors, but he doesn't make music anymore. And we know from Halo, like, some of the best music in any video game. Like that's iconic at this point. So Michael Salvatore did the music for the game, and freaking beautiful. The entire score is amazing. While I'm streaming, I turn my music off like on Spotify, and I just keep the in-game music going because that's how like great the score is. Like it engulfs you into the game. But after you're done with the story, and then once you're like at the in-game material and trying to build your guardian back up to where he or she has their light level, loads to do. I mean, you have exotic quests, which are the blue little quests that pop up. You don't want to do those until after you're 265. You have all of these side missions that you can do. You have factions are coming out next week, so you have like your Dead Orbit, New Monarchy, and Future War Cult that you can align with, and you get gear through them, so you can start working towards getting more powerful gear. You have the raid, which is the best raid we've ever had. No matter how you look at it, you can't beat the raid in under 2 hours. Like that's how. There's so many different mechanics. I'm sure there's going to be like a speedrunner that beats it in like 90 minutes or so, but for the average Joe, I think most people are beating the raid in like no more than 5 hours.
Oh, so, it's such a time sink.
It is a time sink, but like you can always come back to a certain point in the raid. Like you beat the first part, yeah, and you can go into different sections of the raid. It's really nice the way they did it. But the raid has a story to it as well. It ingrains in the main story of the game. So once you do the raid, it's like you want to start finding the backstory of it, of what's going on in Destiny, and all of the lore is now inside the game. You don't have to go to Bungie and do all the grimoire and all that bullcrap. It's right there in front of you. And like the story in itself has become just like Halo. It's now an expansive universe. People are making their own like things based on it, which is what happened with Halo, and which is what really drives the community to do, and what really drives the game to do. So like in my eyes, Destiny 2 is like what the first game should have been, but I'm glad we have it now. It's definitely worth picking up if you have any, no matter what platform you're on. If you're on Xbox, PlayStation, and soon to be PC, which is gonna be the first time. Yeah, I'm so excited for PC. But the best thing I think they integrated into the game was the clans and the way it works. So you now have clans that are spread across all platforms. And you have this clan tab on Destiny 2 where... it shows like everybody on the roster that on that system, but you can also go online and see everybody that's active on any given system. And no matter what system you're on, if anybody in the clan on whatever system they're on earns clan XP, it'll pop up while you're playing the game. And it applies to the entire clan. It's not per platform. It's the entire clan as a whole. So what's funny is we have like 75 members now in the clan. We went from like, I think 19, 20 people to 75 in like a week. Yeah, our clan blew up.
Well, and, I mean, you've got Doc on the channel 5 days a week, right? Recruiting.
Yeah. And then like you have other members, like Green made us some banners to put out on social media so we can recruit. So we've got, I've been posting the Instagram trying to recruit people. But like the cool thing about it is you get extra gear for being in a clan. So it's like worth your while to be in a really solid clan, because the faster you rank up that clan, the better your gear gets and the better your guardians are going to be. Eventually, in the roadmap, Bungie's planning on putting clan battles, which I'm super excited for. Yeah, like old Halo style clan battles. So that's going to be a thing. The PvP is fantastic. I think it eclipsed. I think honestly, the competitive side of PvP and Destiny has eclipsed Halo. So Bungie is really taking it upon themselves to get back in the competitive scene.
Good.
I feel like we're going to start seeing like MLG Destiny soon. Once everything's rolled out and once like the games, after get all of the initial launch hype away, we're really going to start focusing on the PvP aspect and going forward with like trials and stuff like that. So to me, this is like the old Bungie of old, where they're making a solid game and really catering to what they're for. So to me, it gets an A+. And I'm not saying that because I'm a huge fan. I'm saying that because it's a game I'm like hugely passionate about again. Destiny 1 kind of got boring to me sometimes. Like, you didn't see... I would play it for a couple days, and I'm like, I can't do this. I can't play this. This game I can play alone. Like, if nobody's on, I can jump on and do whatever and have fun. So, definitely worth picking up on any platform. Like I said, if you're a PC gamer, you're going to want it on PC because the game is absolutely beautiful. It's not a PC port, or I mean, it's not a port from console. They literally went and built the game up from the ground. They had two separate teams, one for PC and one for console. So it's built from the ground up specifically for PC and super, super optimized, as we saw in the beta. So.
Yeah, it was a nice beta. The only thing, so I was really hyped for Destiny 2 right when it launched, especially after playing the beta because that was so fun to play. But I kind of feel like, I don't know, for me at least, a lot of the hype has died down since then because it's such a long gap between the console release and the PC release.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I probably
isn't there
end up
console
still getting
DLC coming out shortly after the PC release too?
Well, see what they're doing is, since most people have already like played the game and they know they're just going to go ahead and buy it for PC, I think they're going to go ahead and do the release of the DLC alongside the PC release, like all at once. So we'll have like the raid, we'll have Prestige raid, and then we'll have the new DLC. So the people on PC can actually go for a world's first raid on PC. Because then they're kind of catering to the streamers on this one. Like, you're gonna have Lyric playing, you're gonna have Summit 1G. Gathalion actually has a raid team set up with Summit 1G, Ilioheim, Lyric, and a couple other top tier streamers, and they're going for world's first together. Damn. So you're gonna have some really big dogs going on PC. So I still think there's gonna be a lot of hype behind PC since we have those big influencers on there.
Yeah, that's probably
like, oh yeah, Co-Carnage. Co-Carnage is on there too.
Yeah, I know. Shroud's gonna be doing that too, even though he's pretty much exclusively been doing Battlegrounds recently.
And that's another thing.
A lot of people.
When the PC beta was out, I was watching Summit 1G. He didn't play PUBG once during the beta phase.
Dude, he moved onto the console, right? Like, he said he wouldn't, and then he ended up playing it on console because
he rotates that now.
Yeah,
that's how big this game is. Like, I've never seen a big streamer like that who is a hardcore CS:GO PUBG player play a completely different game that's outside of like what they're used to playing.
Yep. It's pretty crazy. I'm pretty hyped.
Somebody on the balcony.
I still have like zero hype for Destiny. now that it's yeah. I don't know. It really just lost its shine for me entirely. And I thought it might come back after the game came out, after I watched a bit, but like, I'm curious, but I don't think it's enough that I'm going to prioritize buying it before it comes out on PC. And it's probably something I'll pick up, after a couple DLCs are out and I can get a Game of the Year edition.
There you go.
That's where I'm sitting.
I know a lot of people that do that. They're like, oh, I'm not going to buy it until everything's out. Yeah. Okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
But to me, if you like, this game is kind of more like the caters to the people that are looter shooters. So if you like The Division, if you like Borderlands.
Borderlands has a very special place in my heart. Borderlands and Division, I played a lot of both of those, but Destiny just... I think it's just because I'm burnt out on looter shooters. He says having dedicated a considerable amount of time to PUBG, which is literally loot, shoot, die.
Well, PUBG is different though. That's like an arena style.
Yeah, like, totally PvP.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, all PvP.
Yeah, I'm kind of burnt out on really grindy games. That's probably the biggest thing for me, is the grindy games. That's
the thing
kind of
about Destiny 2. Once you hit 265, it becomes a solid grind to 300. Like, everybody was like, "Oh, this is easy. Then you get to that hard, like the soft cap. Yeah. Holy crap! Yeah. Everything slows down.
So the irony here is I'm about to talk about a Souls type game, which
See,
a lot of them have grinding involved. But
this game though is like a hybrid. It reminds me of a hack and slash.
well, that's what a lot of Souls types are. So we're talking about Code Vein, and I finally got my gameplay fix for this game. It's one of the few games, so I learned about it about the same time as Destiny 2, but it has maintained the hype for me because it's Weeb Souls. Like, it gets me right in the Weeb spot. It gets me in the Soul spot. Like, I had so much fun finally, like, sinking my teeth into Bloodborne. Like...
So much salt.
So much salt, but like I couldn't put it down, and I'm gonna be bringing it back. I've taken a break. I'm gonna go do some grinding, get a bunch of resources. I'm bringing it back on my channel at some point in the coming weeks to just finish the game, get into the DLC. You know, I really appreciate the fights, the bosses, like that sense of accomplishment when you wipe the floor with another hunter, for example. And this game looks like it's going to be like those moments are going to be like end of season 1 of Sword Art Online epic. Like just it looks like it's gonna have some really, really anime fights. It's got that Tokyo Ghoul vibe that I talked about. And the gameplay. So there's some gameplay videos that surfaced over the last couple days, like 10 minutes. There's one with a boss fight that I haven't watched yet, but it's actually really fluid, and like the animation quality is incredible. The weapons are just badass, and they work how you would expect them to.
Is there a combo system? Like, can you pull off like sick combos like in Devil May Cry or God of War?
I don't believe so. It's going to be somewhere in that like Witcher Bloodborne style of combat.
Okay.
It looks like there are spells. I think
like the art style reminds me somebody took like Devil May Cry and Bloodborne and just like meshed them together in one beautiful game.
Yeah, so it's I'm excited for it. Sorry, Green, I'm cutting you off with all my excitement.
No, you're totally fine. I only saw the IGN video.
Yeah.
And so I'm not a huge fan of Dark Souls games myself.
Yeah.
That's just me. But I don't know if you're saying it's going to be like Sword Art Online style, then I'm interested. I didn't get that impression from the video that you sent.
No, that's so part of me wonders if that's just because of that like stereotypical IGN gameplay. Because like there's one point in the video where he's slashing. So there's two things that bothered me so much. Where they're in this like cave, and then there's like a little separate path that goes down like somewhere you would find loot in like Dark Souls, but there's enemies down there. And he knocks one enemy off of that, and then he's above them swinging as if he's gonna hit them with a hitbox. Like we're talking like horizontal swings. And then he goes and he walks down, and then he gets hit. And I can't say too much about that. I don't know how the game handles. You know, maybe that's a spot where I'm going to get hit. But then he dispatches these two dudes, and then he's fighting another one, and he swings through him off the edge, and then does like a vertical power attack. I just slams himself down into the abyss and dies. And I just went, oh.
It's like when you play Street Fighter the first time and you just mash every button at the same time and hope to God you pull off a combo.
Oh, and some of the spots where it's like he would do something and he would just stop. And I mean, I'm the kind of person in these games that I keep going. It's like, find the next enemy, follow the enemies. If there's enemies, I'm going towards something. If there's crates I can break, I'm going towards something. Like, I'm constantly moving. And I get some people like stop and they take a second and they collect themselves, but that does not work for me. That's not how I play games. That one was just like, that is personal pet peeves. That's all that is.
Well, I mean, if we're talking about IGN still, have you guys seen them play Halo or Destiny? Like, come on.
Have you seen the one from Doom?
Oh my god.
The one from Doom is like, I think it's the one that kind of sparked some of this. Because, like, the dude...
I mean, IGN's... Dude, I watched them play Halo 5, and I was just like, please, just put the controller down. Just stop.
Oh, I feel like this is turning into an IGN bash fest, but it's like some of the gameplay they put out is just no.
Oh, they get bashed all the time on the like, have you ever seen an IGN like comment section? All it is, every time they post a video, it's like, you guys suck at playing video games.
No wonder you rated it poorly, you can't even play it.
Yeah.
Basically.
Oh, yeah, I don't imagine that those comment sections are fun at all.
They're quite hilarious.
Yeah.
Yes. Something. Lots of water.
So, yeah. Something. Lots of water. Exactly.
Oh my god. No. Okay. This one. This was the review for Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. 3rd gen Pokemon. Anybody that knows 3rd gen Pokemon knows there's a lot of water, and it's like that for a reason. But the review is 7 out of 10 too much water. Especially when you're playing Sapphire? The one where it's a water type legendary? Oh my god.
The worst part is that it's a remake. So it's not even like it's a design choice. They were literally just copying the game.
Yeah, it's...
It'd be funny if you went back and like looked at just the regular Ruby and Sapphire, and it was like a 10 out of 10.
It probably was, to be honest.
Hang on, let's look that up real fast.
Oh god. All right.
While I talk about Gundam Versus.
Yeah.
Ooh, now this game looks cool.
Yeah, Gundam Versus I've been watching a bit.
Beta was so freaking sick.
Yeah.
So like, it takes a while. It takes like a couple games to get used to because it's not a normal control scheme.
Yeah.
But the entire like beta was just 2v2. Like you go in and you have a friend, and he has a different Gundam, and you're facing off against. You can do a wave mode where you face like a wave of, there'll be like one powerful Gundam, and then there'll be like little minions, so like a Zaku or a GM or something like that.
Yeah.
And then you have to kill all of those, and then the next wave comes in. Or you can go online and face other people, like so 2v2. And
cool.
Dude, I'm talking, they have every Gundam you can possibly. There's over 96 mobile suits with plans to add. I think they're planning to add like every era of Gundam and every Gundam, every mobile suit that is in existence.
They're doing kind of the same thing that Battlefront is doing, right? They're covering everything they can.
Yeah,
and I imagine that as new Gundam series comes out, we're going to see new ones, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and they're going to continually just update the game.
Yeah.
Like the game, everything from the gameplay to like just like the pure nostalgia. Like I got to play as RX-78, which is the first Gundam ever.
Yeah.
And it was so freaking cool because like they even have the dialogue from the series, and like the pilots will talk back and forth to each other when you do like the story mode section. It was just really cool because it felt like you were playing a part of the show, and like everything from all of the armaments that you can do from like the super attacks. So I was playing as Wing Zero, and you can fly, like shoot up into the air, look down, lock on, and he charges the Buster Cannon, and Hero will pop up out of the corner and do like some anime style thing, and he'll be like, "You're gonna die," and then he shoots the can. It's so sick. Like it's just like the anime. There's one where I was Wing Zero versus Epion, which is like happens in the show. And as I went up, we clashed swords, and like they did this little dialogue session between both of the pilots, and I was like, "I'm playing the anime. This is so cool." It was the game is really fun, and it's gonna be something that, like I play a lot because I'm a massive Gundam fan.
Yeah,
but like I recommend if you're a huge anime like fan and you love Gundam, pick this game up. Like,
dude, I had never even seen Gundam, and this is still interests me.
It's really cool. Like it made me want to go back and start watching all of the animes again.
Could we talk about this year's like anime fighters? Like, because Dragon Ball Fighters is also like on this level of just like it feels like you're playing the anime.
You know, they even on Dragon Ball Fighters, they even added in like some of the fan made stuff.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. Like the I'm talking about like the really, really good ones. Akira Toriyama, he actually signed off on some of them. And I was like, oh, no. Yeah, like, oh my god, that game's gonna be phenomenal.
That's awesome.
And it's an old school fighter, so like it's on both sides of the screen.
Mm-hmm.
None of that 3D bullcrap.
Yep.
And you can play through you can play through the Cell games, you can play through the Frieza saga, you can play through. They added the new stuff like the God Sands.
Yep.
So you can do like, and they added Yamcha and Tien. Like the video that I watched was Yamcha facing the Grand Dragon, and like Yamcha does Wolfbane Fist and shoots it at him, and he goes, "You puny human!" and he shoots like this massive blast and just kills Yamcha. And it was awesome. But yeah, that's gonna be another one.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be a good one. So I added one that's kind of a huge miss because we just had massive news on the Overwatch front. We got the release of all of the official Overwatch, like the professional league teams.
Oh yeah.
So we just got that. Not a single. We don't even have a Toronto team. There's not apparently Canada just doesn't play video games according to Blizzard.
Limited teams.
Yeah.
Did you see what the buy-in was for that though?
No, and I imagine that's the limiting factor.
Oh
how bad was it?
I don't remember the exact number, but it was like millions of dollars. It was insane.
So
like,
we're not gonna have a true team.
No, not in the Overwatch League. But it's crazy because they want it to be on the same level as like a professional sports teams, and they have the teams are based like in locations similar to the way that American and then probably Canadian teams too are just based around cities and stuff.
Yeah.
Which is a new concept for esports. No one's really done that before. So
yeah, because they're kind of like national teams for esports, right?
Exactly.
But there's like a bunch of them.
Yep, and they're like for example, for League of Legends, they all tend to be in LA, so they can all play. But this is like the teams. There's gonna be a North Carolina team, for example, which is pretty cool, and like Florida, and so it's gonna be weird to see how they do it, but it could be really cool potentially.
I think it's a huge step. Like we've kind of talked off and on about the pro gaming on this episode. I think this is going to be another huge step. It's going to have an influence on the same scale for what we have now versus what LCS did for esports at the time. Like we've got kind of these steps along this curve, and I think this is where we're really going to see it take off. As long as it's done well.
Exactly.
But there is the potential for it to just kind of tank. And plateau.
It's Blizzard though, and Blizzard tends to do things right. And they've already done like StarCraft, for example, is absolutely massive, especially over in Korea. So I think they'll probably end up doing things right.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see. I'm very excited to see what happens, and I'm hoping maybe eventually there'll be like a local team that I can root for. But we need people who are Yeah, and they have really cool like stepping stones up to that league now too. So
like with
they
contenders.
So they've got different leagues essentially. Like the I don't know about down there, but we have like the Alberta Hockey League, we have the Western Hockey League, and then you get up into like the CHL and the NHL.
Right, kind of. But like, so I say that because, so let's say that you're just an Overwatch player in general. There's like a very clear path for you to get to being professional in Overwatch, which is sort of unique. Like, again, I'll go back to League of Legends a lot because that's the game that I know. The kind of strategy, if you want to go pro in League, is like, well, just get to be one of the top 200 on your server, and then you might get picked up by somebody if they think you're good.
Yeah.
But for Overwatch, you have this specific league you can join if I think you're like diamond or above or so. And then like if your team makes it, then you move up and up into those other leagues. So that's a really cool feature, I think, and that kind of encourages people to move towards being professional in the sport more.
Yeah, that's quite nice. I like that. I wasn't aware of that portion of it.
Yeah.
So can I share something hilarious with you guys?
Yeah.
Did you
About
find
the
it?
Pokemon thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I found it. Okay, so Pokemon Alpha Sapphire and Ruby got a 7.8, right?
Yep.
Go back to Pokemon Sapphire, Ruby, and Emerald. 9.5. And then you look at the comments section. And the first comment says, "Sometimes I come back to this page just to be mad again. Too much water. ... And then the next one is too much fucking water. That's ridiculous. IGN, I love you.
Do you guys remember when that game came out? Because I definitely do.
I do. That and Gold and Silver are my generations for Pokemon.
Game Boy Advance, baby.
Ooh yeah. Played on the
I was
SP.
so hyped. March 17th, 2003. What a freaking year for gaming, dude.
I don't remember the date, but wow, that is impressive.
Yeah.
I've got it right here in front of me. That's why I know.
He's probably because he's got the IGN page, right? Yeah. So that's his excuse, and he's sticking to it.
I was thinking he had it like burned into his mind, just like that day.
He's got
I
it
became
tattooed.
the master.
That was the day that I decided to become the very best.
I set out on my adventure. No, but I do have one or two gaming dates ingrained in my mind. November 9th and September 25th, 2004 and 2007. Halo 2 and 3, baby.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. So, I think that about wraps up the gaming content. Movies. So it just came out. I haven't seen it. I probably won't go see it.
I actually kind of want to see it.
See, I know you guys kind of touched on it with Caribou last week. But so I ended up going to see it, like not necessarily because I wanted to, but because my fiance wanted to go with a bunch of people. So I just ended up going. And
there's a very sarcastic tweet around that.
Oh yeah, that's true. I just think it's so funny. People are like, "Oh, I'm gonna go see it." Like, yeah, you are. That's exactly what you're going to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
It took you long enough. Oh boy.
I wasn't really paying attention. Then it hit me. I was like, "Wait a second! They're totally talking about this, aren't they?"
Yeah, they're talking about it.
Yeah,
talking about it.
Yeah,
talking about it.
No, but yeah, it is on track to be it may be at this point the highest grossing horror movie of all time, which is pretty crazy. And again, I'm not one to go see horror movies. I don't necessarily mind them, just like I won't choose to go see them just because I'd rather see something else. But this was a really good movie.
Really?
Even like how can I put it? I don't know. They just did so many things right.
Okay, that makes sense.
Like, think about all the ways they marketed this movie. Like, you guys talked about last week. It came out 27 years later to the day that the last one was made, which is huge. Just has to be this year. And then a lot of other things, like they played off of the Stranger Things hype from last year by using the same actor and kind of having the same vibes.
Yeah,
that's cool.
And all the actors in the film were just amazing. There wasn't a single bad one. I don't know.
Which you usually get with a horror movie.
Yeah,
you definitely do. And also, something that I pointed out to like the friends I saw it with is there weren't any like stupid characters. Because normally you like in a lot of horror movies you have someone who's just going somewhere for no apparent reason. Like, hey, this is terrifying. I'm gonna go see what it's about. Like that cannot end well. Yeah. Whereas in this movie, I'm not going to spoil anything, but everything that happens, like there's a good reason for it, for the most part. So
it's not like your general run-of-the-mill horror movie where like, hey, this hallway is really creepy and I'm probably going to die. Let's walk down it with only a screwdriver.
Exactly. And you like the characters in the movie, like especially the ones that they build up. They're very likable characters.
Oh God, they all die like Game of Thrones. Great.
Again, not going to spoil anything, but I really enjoyed it for her movie.
I actually genuinely want to kind of see it now.
It's pretty good. It is a little bit more gruesome than I thought it would be, so keep that in mind. But
okay.
Did it scare you?
So I don't really get scared by horror movies just because I know it's a movie the whole time.
I'm glad you specified that because I was about to dedicate the rest of my life to proving that you do get scared.
Well, so games freak me out because you're the one driving, right?
Yeah.
Like you can't be like, hey, this character's so stupid I would never do that because you're the one doing it. Like in a movie, it's easy to just sit back and be like, this isn't real and this character's an idiot and I would never do this. This would never happen.
Yeah.
And then you get in the game and you're like, holy crap.
Say
I'm
the
so
same
scared
thing to
right
yourself. I would never do this in real life. I'm a freaking idiot for walking down this hallway.
Pretty much.
That's cool. That's genuinely a horror movie I need to see then.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good one.
It is a good one. So, okay. Talking about the movie It, I saw something funny and I kind of wanted to do this to IT Guy. It was on Imgur, and it was like their IT department. They hung a red balloon out. It was like the It room, and they hung a red balloon outside of the IT room. I was like, oh my gosh, please do that to IT Guy.
That's beautiful. That is beautiful.
You should hang a red balloon, like you should go and tape a red balloon outside his office. Please have True Mama do this.
Oh,
That'd be great.
Boy.
I might talk to her about it.
And take a picture and put it on Discord.
I'm sorry in advance if this causes anyone any distress.
He's gonna come to work in a clown costume now. Just wait. That would be amazing.
That'll be the day that Mama
Likely.
quits.
Dude, True Mama would be like, "What are you doing? No, seriously, go home and change right now."
So, Star Wars news? We've kind of talked about Star
yes.
Wars like 4 episodes in a row. We can't stop now.
So, Star Wars news. Still no trailer. What the hell is going on, Disney? What's going on? I need my Star Wars trailer. I can only watch the first teaser trailer so many times before it gets old. It no longer gives me chill bump. Every time I watch it, I'm like, okay, Rey's holding the lightsaber. No, seriously, I need a new trailer. But new hype this week, and it's been like buzzing all around the Star Wars scene. So the director for Episode 9 got fired. Like they axed. Simply because like his last 2 movies that he's made have been utter trash. Like they have not done well in the box office. And I mean, if you're gonna take control of one of the biggest movie franchises of all time, especially with Disney, you need to have a good track record.
Yeah,
so,
you can't have. Yeah, that's. I think that's probably a good move on their part. Then, as heartless as that sounds.
I agree. Because they fired the one for Han Solo as well and picked up a new director. I don't know his name. Like I didn't know this director very well, but apparently like he had tons of success in Hollywood, and so that's coming out next year, I believe. And then we have Episode 9, who is now being controlled by none other than our boy J.J. Abrams.
Nice.
I am so excited because that man did so well with Episode 7.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, that'll be.
God,
good.
I'm excited.
He's directing. Is he directing 8 as well? I can't remember.
No, the director for 8 I love because he's really good at dark movies.
Yeah.
Which 8 is supposed to be like extremely dark, and so I'm stoked for 8, man. This guy, his vision for 8 was so amazing because I was watching the whole like an interview with him, and like his vision for the writing was so good. Like 8's gonna be an amazing film. But I'm stoked for 9 because of the way JJ does it. When he filmed 7, he didn't do anything digital.
No.
As part of the filming. He did it all in like actual tape film to give it that old school vibe. And I think he might do that with 9. I'm not sure.
That's cool.
But he has a really good like film style. I mean, he did well with Star Trek.
So
yeah, he did very well.
Oh, sorry, guys. At the risk of starting a whole thing, we talked a little bit about Snoke. Was it last episode before? We've talked about Snoke.
Yeah.
And I think we need to maybe do some research on this and talk about it a little more in depth next time.
I'm hoping next time we have a trailer.
I'm hoping so, because I think we do have Shady confirmed for the next episode already, by the way. Yeah.
Dude, I might have to watch the trailer again on the podcast and just freak out on podcast. Just completely just go ape shit.
I'm gonna leave this one as like a cliffhanger, and then we're gonna move on to the music.
Okay.
I've heard speculation that Snoke is actually a Gray Jedi.
No.
So we have 2 Gray Jedi potentially, which kind of aligns with the concept of the end of like the Jedi
And the title, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you look at the lore, and I'm going to leave it here on this one. If you look at the lore, the Jedi and the Sith all started out as the same, which you can technically classify as the Gray Jedi. Just one practiced dark side more, and one practiced the light side more.
Yep.
So, in order to bring balance, what do? Black and white make gray.
Yep.
Who knows? We'll leave that for the next one.
Yep. Yeah. So, Green and I actually spent a bunch of time today talking about songs, and I opened the playlist up and let Green add a track or two.
Oh yeah.
For me. It's funny because your user shows up as a number on the playlist. I don't know why.
That's weird.
So, we've got a few songs, one of which is the current League of Legends. Yes. Do they call them a theme song?
It's a hype song, really.
I did give it another listen. So it's Legends Never Die.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, dude, this song is hype.
Yeah, featuring Against the Current
for me the entire week.
Yeah. I gave it another listen, and it's not as boring as I first thought it was. I will give you that. It is. I still hold like Warriors in very high regard as far as the hype songs went for League of Legends, especially with the cinematic they had. I still like tear up a little bit and get like super excited watching that one. I think I need to go watch the trailer with this song in it to see if
that's the thing. They haven't released one yet, which is really weird because they've done one every year.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of thinking they might do one, in 2 hours.
In 2 hours,
when World starts.
Yeah.
As part of the stream or something. But I don't know, that we always get one, so I'm not sure what's going on with that.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
All right, so a little comment about Legends Never Die. It has a more epic tone to it.
It's got
it builds up.
It's got more of a cinematic tone, whereas a lot of the other LCS themes have been more epic off the start.
What you need to do is, so probably part of the reason why I found this song so cool is go look up. They made a 3-part documentary series. It's short documentaries, like 5 minutes each.
Yeah.
Of 3 players, and they use the music to kind of build around that. That really added a lot to the song experience, in my opinion. I think it's probably similar to Warriors, so it's worth a look.
Yeah, because the thing for me is like the Warriors cinematic told this story, right? I can't remember because it was like some of the people in the finals, or some of the teams, and so it told this story, and that's what I'm getting goosebumps right now thinking about it still years later. So I don't have that connection with this one, which might be the problem here, because it is a good song. It just I'm probably expecting that same connection that I associate with when I still watched LCS and when I still played League of Legends, which I've been very tempted to start a new account and get back in, but I don't have the time. Yeah. So other songs of note, Galaxica by Panda Eyes and Subkey.
Yeah.
You want to talk about like melodic, because this song, we were talking about like music tastes and stuff, because I'm very open. I like a lot of different kinds of music, but Green is very much a musician in the aspect that he likes melodic stuff.
Yeah.
So this one is on there because I feel like your comment was, "I love panda eyes" when I mentioned
Yes.
it. Yeah.
It's got some really cool.
Yeah.
You love panda's eyes.
Pimz and I were going back and I love those too. But Pimz and I were going back and forth a lot about their music stuff, and I can't do like some of the hardcore EDM stuff. That's just a lot of like just hardcore clubs and and like bangers. Like I don't know, if it doesn't have a melody, I just kind of lose interest in it.
Yeah.
But Panda Eyes is, I just love like the melodies he has. It's pretty cool.
I listened to Dynasty, the Elefante remix that you mentioned. I guess I didn't really get any tracks from Shadow this week, did I?
Say what?
I didn't get any tracks from you this week, did I?
No, I didn't really have any though.
Yeah. I was actually I liked this one because it was had the very beautiful vibe to it. Like it's very it's light, it's airy, but it's still like an electronic remix. Elefante is one of the I mentioned this, and I'm beating a dead horse at this point.
Oh, look at that. Get Low's on my release radar.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. The Kiro remix. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Elefante is one of the artists that I saw live at Chasing Summer, and I do really like his stuff. Man, I'm very happy you showed me this remix.
His stuff is amazing, man. I think he has a very unique sound.
Yeah.
To his stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Very full too.
Yeah. He's actually got really good stage presence. That's one thing I found. So it kind of matches with the style of his music, which is even better.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of my like artist / song for the week that really stuck with me is Feels So Good featuring Avelia by So it's Nintendo, but it's a Y instead of like it's YNTENDO featuring Sam F as well. This song, I just like it sticks in my head. It really just sticks in my head. It's one of those songs where it's got a really nice structure to it. The build up is beautiful, and then the drop just kind of like flips a switch for me. I get that rush of endorphins, and then it kind of levels out and starts to come back up again after a bit. Really, really well written song. I was a bit disappointed when I went to listen to more of their stuff that it's kind of a black sheep. I was hoping that their stuff would be similar enough that I could actually do a bit of an artist chat here instead of just talking about the one specific song. But there were 2 songs out of their entire catalog that made it on here. The other one's a little more of a party vibe song called Vegas to LA. All of this is available on the TRUtalk Pimz playlist. You guys can find that on Spotify. There's a link down in the description for everything as well. That's all I have to talk about for music. Do you guys have anything that you want to kind of sneak in at the end?
Not really that I saw.
Okay.
Dude, I'm kind of overwhelmed by music right now. I couldn't like pick too much on this playlist because there's so much of it.
Yeah. I'm trying to clean this playlist up a little bit. Yeah.
I know you guys kind of touched on a little bit about, I don't even know how to say their name when you actually have to say it. PVRIS, Paris, I guess is
Paris.
the way
Yeah.
to say it. I know Deja have new albums which are fantastic.
Yep. Yeah.
And Illenium came out with an album like yesterday.
Oh, right.
I think,
Yeah.
That's right. I forgot about that.
We're gonna talk about this
which is so
I like
good.
it. I like this new album.
Yeah.
It was good enough that I threw it on to listen to it critically while working, and then I forgot to listen to it critically because I just liked it.
It's really good, man.
Yeah, it's quite good. I would definitely go check that out. What was it called? Again, that's
Oh man, give me 2 seconds to find it.
yeah.
Macklemore has a new CD.
No, so the new Illenium album is called Awake. Sorry, I like.
Yeah, Awake, just Awake. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awake.
I'm over Macklemore.
You are?
I am very much over him. This new album does not interest me at all.
I haven't listened to it yet.
Yeah,
Not worth.
I just none of the songs have stuck out for me. It's all just, I don't know.
Mainstream. Alright.
It's too mainstream for me. Okay.
It's all mainstream. Yo, this is the best album ever. Marilyn Manson. Yeah, I'm just joking.
Oh my gosh, dude! I'm also, just one last side note. I'm super into like disco EDM right now. It's like sounds like 80s style music, but it's like future. Oh my gosh, I'm addicted to it.
Yeah, I got one. I think I've got one on my release radar. You might like then. I'll see if I can dig it out.
Way, man.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm trying to think of the freaking song. There's one that I know that you'll like. It's got like that 80s, Las Vegas vibe to it. Dude, it's so cool. Makes me feel like I just want to be in an old Cadillac driving down the strip in Las Vegas. Dude, no, seriously. Like, I want to have like huge aviators and a white suit going down the strip in Las Vegas. That's what the song makes me feel like. It's awesome.
That's great.
With David Hasselhoff.
Oh God.
Goals.
So I think that about wraps up the music. We do have one last thing, and this actually might take us a little bit to get through. We do have a question this week coming from Ashnid.
Right.
I think every like most people in TRUfam know Ash. He's a very cool guy. A lot of fun to game with. So his question is, this for all of us. So he wants to know what made us want to pursue streaming, and what the funniest moment that has happened on stream for us.
Green's the guest, so we'll let him go first.
See how it is. So I know the first half of this. The second half is harder.
Yeah, the second half
in
is
terms
very
of
hard.
What made me want to pursue streaming? I actually, funny story. I don't remember when I found Twitch, but I always thought it was super cool, and like immediately was interested in streaming. But I didn't have a PC to do it. I just had a MacBook at the time, so I convinced Panda to stream for me. Got him into streaming. Yeah, because I was like, hey, I can't stream, but you can, so you should do this. And then, of course, once I finally got a PC, I started doing it like day one. Like,
That's awesome.
That was kind of the reason I built the PC. It was like, man, I want to be able to stream League of Legends, and everyone can watch it. And so I started with that in Halo, and just kind of casually. And I don't know, I just really enjoyed connecting with people that, like, even with just like 3 viewers, like the concept of someone coming to watch the channel and connecting with someone was super cool to me. So I just kind of pursued that. And in terms of the funniest moment on my stream, oh, that's a tough one because I don't stream as much as I used to. I don't know, there's been a lot of funny moments. Like, does it count when you're talking about Tru streams too? Because like that's kind of my stream. Like ECGC was hilarious a lot of the time.
Yeah,
that was so fun, dude.
With all 4 of the streamers, like that was just, there's so many shenanigans where like you guys would be talking on the panel and I would like zoom out the camera and like creep on somebody in the audience.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was a funny one. And then I don't know, another time I discovered that I was burning stuff on my stove while streaming, and I kind of like fell out of my chair and screamed and ran to fix it. So.
Oh God,
that's fantastic.
Yeah, that's me.
Shadow.
What about you? Oh, you want me to go?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What inspired me to start streaming? All right. Well, I was an ex-competitive guy for Halo, as a lot of you know. I was an ex-pro for Halo MLG. Played a bunch of tournaments, and I wanted to get back into the gaming stuff. And my brother was watching Twitch one day, and I was like, "What's this? This is kind of cool." I was like, "You're interacting with it's kind of like watching a football game, but you get to interact with that person and like talk to them." And so I started watching a guy by the name of King Ithalian, which is a Destiny streamer. And at the time, I was playing Destiny, and really got like super involved in his chat. And I actually sent him a message, and like I was like, "Hey, I'm kind of interested in doing this. Like, how do you go about it?" And he was like, he told me like everything I needed to do. and kind of inspired. And he was like, "Go for it, dude, and go have fun with it." And another streamer by the name of Professor Broman. Those two like really inspired me to do it. And after I did it for a little bit, it kind of inspired. Like I got more inspired to try to. I figured out, oh hey, you can help people by doing this. So like as I started streaming, my inspiration grew to, I want to grow my channel. From that to, hey, eventually I want to be big enough to where I can go help somebody like that's in need or that's struggling, because I know what it's like to be there. So that's where my inspiration came from. As far as the funniest moment, oh my gosh, we've had a lot.
Alt F4?
No, that was one of them. That was freaking hilarious. Okay, so let's talk about that one for a second. I'll have to talk about like a couple here. So Pimz was in chat one day. This is just because he's here. I'm going to talk about this one. I had only gotten like 3 hours of sleep the night before because Amelia had been up like all night, and I was on stream that day. And I was like, oh my god, my freaking game closed, and I couldn't get anything open. And I finally got it back, and all of a sudden Pimz was like, yeah, Alt F4. And I was like, oh yeah. So I hit it without thinking anything, and it closed like all of my windows. And I was like, "You son of a!" And like, I just got so angry. And Pimz was like, "Wait a second, did that actually happen?"
So
yeah,
there's a second part to this one, though. Can I tell the second part to this one before you?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
So, I think Doc was playing PUBG with a bunch of people, including True Mama. And this was within a week of me doing this to Shadow. I did the exact same thing. And I'm like, hey, if you hit Alt F4, it does this thing. And you just hear Mama go off. I don't think she's like, if she's forgotten, I am fortunate, and I probably shouldn't be bringing this up because she was livid with me. She force closed the game while they're in the middle of a match, and I'm like, holy shit, did that just work twice in the same week? Hello?
He was on a high.
That was like maximum freaking Pimstigation over there.
Like straight early 2000 style.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I guess my other two favorites. Okay, so each of them involve Whiteshadow, because anytime she gets on stream, a shitload of shenanigans happen.
Mm-hmm.
She's sitting over here behind me, like I'm looking at her through the behind me, like you gonna perk up.
Better talk about me.
You gonna perk up and say something? I'll show you something perky. Okay. Well, one of them. One of them was when if you go on my clips channel, it's called Betrayal. It's my most viewed clip. It's because she was about to feed me like this piece of like candy or chocolate. I can't remember what it was. I was talking
Wasn't
to Doc.
it chips?
No, it was something
chocolate.
like it was
yeah,
it was chocolate because I love chocolate. And she, like, I was talking and she was like, "All right, babe, do you want a bite of this?" And I was like, "Yeah." And Doc made me laugh, and I started laughing, and she was like, "Okay." So she stuffs it in her mouth, and I go, "Ah, I wanted it." And she was just sitting there. She was like, her mouth full of chocolate. She goes, "Well, I offered it to you," while sitting there chewing it. So yeah, that one was great. And then probably the other time was when I was streaming Whiteshadow was at work. Amelia was asleep, and I was doing some Destiny. I'm just sitting there at my computer. No, I was streaming Ghost Recon Wildlands. That's right, with the launch of Wildlands. I was playing with Blaze. And all of a sudden, the entire room just goes dark, and I hear a pop behind me. And I turned around, and my freaking lamp had busted from heat. Midstream, no light. Like, you couldn't see, like, you could barely see me. And I just turned slowly around. That's another clip. And I was like, my freaking light bulb just busted. And, like, the lamp wouldn't come back on. And that was another good one.
Dude, I just remember the time when Baby Shadow tore down the green screen. That was great.
Oh, yeah. That one was funny. That was during the charity stream.
Yeah.
So many good times. I mean, yeah. There's so many like funny moments. It's hard to grasp one. There's one where we scared the crap out of Rachel's mom, like, live on stream. And like she almost peed her pants. Like, it was so funny. So I don't know. What about you, Pimz?
So you guys can actually find this on the TRUgaming site, but I will give you a special live extended version of why I got into streaming. So, a couple of years ago, my roommate Briggsy first introduced me to Twitch. I'd been watching all kinds of YouTube, really getting into the gaming side, like watching CNanners, Chilled Chaos, Gassy Mexican, like that kind of whole group. And that kind of sparked my transition over to Twitch. I started watching Gassy, Renee. This is like back when those two were dating. I think they were even living together at the time, like way, way back, a couple years now. And I just, I always had a lot of fun in those chats, like getting to know people, chatting, that sense of community. And then I finally started watching, probably not even 2 years ago. So at this point, like I had started streaming and I was just kind of doing it because I could. But the thing that made me really want to pursue it is I got involved with the Wolf Pack with, so it's Jason the Nicest, Wolves at My Door, like one of my all-time favorite streamers. His community, the Wolf Pack, is one of my favorite. A lot of my regulars are people I met through Wolf Pack. Ravager, Nicole Norgard, there's a few others that float around. Like, they're Wolf Pack, and they're some of the better internet friends. And that sense of community is what really, like, got me heavy into this. It's part of why I invest so much time in Tru. I also, on top of everything that I'm doing here, I have my own community that I maintain, and I invest a lot of time in over there. Like it's all about the fam for me. Yeah, that's awesome. Why I do it. That's why I pursue it. And then my funniest moment is kind of a tough one, because there's a lot of moments, but I have a very bad memory. I think one of people's favorite moments is playing Nazi Zombie Trilogy, probably a year ago now, with Drizzy back when he was XFlare 25. We were playing and we're just joking around, and for some I called one of the zombies a milk drinker, just out of nowhere, and so he's like, milk drinker, why do you call him? And I'm like, it's the noise I make. And I lean into my mic, like right up on it, and I just make this sucking noise for like 7 or 8 seconds. There's a clip of it on my YouTube, and people just died over that. That is one of the funnier moments. One thing people love is I get oh god, this one happened recently. This was on the True channel last weekend. This is one of my favorite moments because oh my god, it actually just broke me. I was playing Dream Daddy Simulator, and there's a sequence in there where, like, it's established, your character is just like a dad, like just a dad. But you're at the mall with your daughter at the food court eating shitty nachos. And he asks,
shitty nachos.
Like he goes, so explain memes to me. I got halfway through this sentence and I just stood up and walked out of the room. I could not handle it at that moment in time. I was like, no, I'm done. I'm out. I'll see you guys later. Like, I came back and like I sat down and like held my head in my hands for a second. I was like, what the fuck just happened? Why is this a thing? Yeah, that's probably one of my favorite funny moments for sure. There was one way back as well where I was playing Gmod Slender. And
Slender.
Yes, like Slender Man. Yeah.
Okay.
And so I was in the basement of the building on the map, in like the deepest, darkest corner, and we're playing against an AI Slender. The AI Slendermen were fucking assholes. The worst. Like I'm walking down and like I going down the stairs, I'd seen a blip of the stuff that shows that he's nearby, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go through the basement. I'm gonna go out through the cellar door. I'm gonna get away. I get to the cellar door and it's locked. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh dear God, no. Oh no. And then like the static comes in and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna leave. I'm gonna turn around, I'm heading straight for the door. And I start to move, and then I get grabbed from behind it. I screamed.
Oh my God, I can only imagine.
Like I've never made this noise since. Like,
This came from his soul.
It was the most terrified noise I have ever made. And immediately after, I sounded like a purse dog.
Yep.
And it's like, it's one of those moments where I know what I need to say. It's like hander pants, you know, pass me my hander pants when you're asking for your mittens. It was one of those moments, and like thinking back, I still remember that, and I still kind of chuckle at it. This was one that I like first started, probably, that would be 2 years ago this summer. Wow. When it was just a hobby. But that's one of my oldest funny memories. This is why I said this one might take a while, because I think we've been on this for 10 minutes now. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good spot to wrap it up, though. Ash. Yeah. Oh, goodness.
Ashton, thank you for that question.
Ash,
That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah. Thank you, Ash. Thank you. Sorry, I keep
By the
talking.
way, Ash is amazing at PUBG. Just gotta say
He's
that.
so good. Dude,
He's
so
a freaking
good.
boss.
Yeah.
He's really good at Destiny as well.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like
dude's
he's just good at shooters in general.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Dude's a natural born shooter. Should be a sniper.
So,
if only I had a weapon.
With that, Green, do you have any closing remarks?
Not too much, man. Just thank you for having me on the show.
Yeah.
And if you guys probably know where to find us already.
Yeah.
Being that I'm TRUgaming and all.
I have no idea.
Well,
Yeah,
absolutely no idea.
Tell us what your Twitch link is.
So mine is GreenChord, twitch.tv/GreenChord, but you should go to twitch.tv/TRUgaming LLC to help support the channel and our website, which is TRUgaming.com, and Discord, and you probably know what that is already.
Yep.
If not, look in the stuff below.
Yep. Shadow, you got anything else you want to add?
Nah, I just want to thank GreenChord for being on the podcast with us. Hope to have you back, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's been great. Thank you very much for joining us.
Of course.
So if anybody has any podcast topics they want to listen to us discuss, stuff like what we just discussed for Eshnit's questions, email us at TRUtalk@TRUgaming.com or go to the website TRUgaming.com. Find the social links there and reach out to us on the Twitter. GreenChord will get us any questions that are that have hashtag TRUtalk in them. Mm-hmm. If you guys are listening on iTunes, remember to leave us a review. Subscribe to the YouTube. Follow the Twitch. Make sure you guys are following this on whatever platforms you guys are listening to. We are on Spreaker. We are on... Actually, we're not really on SoundCloud. Are we on SoundCloud? Did we ever get that sorted?
Yeah, no.
No?
So, okay. So no SoundCloud.
We'll see in the future.
Spreaker podcast, most of your podcast aggregators, we're there. Make sure you're following. Make sure you guys leave ratings, likes, whatever you have on your platform. Let us know if we're doing a good job. With that, we'll be back in 2 weeks with more TRUtalk. Make sure you guys check out the Discord, like we mentioned, discord.gg/TRUgaming. Tell your friends, tell your family.
Tell your family friends.
Tell your family friends. Yep. Tell Uncle Bob.
Tell your friends and family friends and cousins.
Yes.
Don't forget them.
Yeah.
They're still family guys.
Just run down the street screaming it. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do.
Just make a banner. Just make a banner and run down the road. It's fine.
Run down the road wearing that banner.
Exactly.
Consider wrapping your car. I mean, optional, but
we're not paying for it, but you can.
Yeah. Feel free to wrap your car. Thank you everybody for listening, and we will catch you on the next one.
Take it easy, guys.
Peace.
Freaking hate you, dude. I swear to God, I'm gonna find out a way to jump in my camera and strangle you. He just sent me a K made of the little blue Ks.
I knew it was what it was before you even said it. Like, I just DM'd you too.
Yeah, we're done.
Yeah.